Good morning, everybody. Today our lesson is mean absolute deviation, or sometimes we call it MEAD. Mean represents the average, absolute represents the distance from zero, or in this case, distance from the average. Deviation is something that is not going to the same direction, like moving away a little bit from the mean or the average. So something that deviates. Our goal for today is to find the mean absolute deviation of a given set of data by solving for the average absolute distance value of each data from the mean or from the average. We'll get an example for that later on. So the mean absolute deviation of a set of data is the average distance between each data value and the mean. So how far is it from the mean? Like it's average from the mean. Let's look at an example. The table shows the maximum speeds of 8 roller coasters. To find the mean absolute deviation of a set of data, we're going to describe the mean absolute deviation and what it represents afterwards. So let's see the example here. Maximum speed of roller coasters in miles per hour. So we have 8 data over here. So we could arrange this data from lowest to the highest, but it's not necessarily needed to do that, but just for us to easy to look and easy to solve later on. So step 1, find the mean or find the average, the regular average. So we add it all up and it has 512, and since there are 8 items here, or 8 data here, we divide it by 8, so our average or our mean is 64. Step 2, find the absolute value difference between the mean and each data. So this is the mean and this is the data. So we're going to find the difference between this and each data over here. I'll put plus because I'm going to be adding it later on. So 64 minus 40 is 24. And since we need the absolute value, remember, so 64 minus 48 is 16, 64 minus 58 is 6, 64 minus 6 is 4, 64 minus 6 is negative 2. But since we need an absolute value of that, so put positive 2. 64 minus 72 is negative 8, but since we need a absolute value, so it's positive 8. 64 minus 8 is negative 16. Absolute value is 16, as well as 64 minus 88 is negative 24, and it becomes positive 24 because we need to find the absolute value of that. All right, absolute value, remember, is a distance away from 0. Step 3, now we find the mean absolute deviation, or the MEAD. So we find the average of those differences, right? These are all the things that we have subtracted, and then we still divide it by 8 because that is what the number of items here, and we add also red ones and becomes 100 divided by 8 is 12.5. 12.5 is the mean absolute deviation. It means that the average distance each data value from the mean is 12.5 miles per hour. So each data value away from the mean is 12.5. So if I am one of this and I want to compete with any other roller coasters, I need to make my speed a little bit faster, like 12 miles per hour faster, so I could catch up with the average ones. Okay, so let's next. So I'm gonna put this video, YouTube video. This is not me, this is somebody else teaching what is MEAD in an easy way. I'm going to put this in our resources or in our material, and so you could go back and look. As for your exit paper, you're going to do this based on the survey they have. You survey, my favorite, whatever your favorite is, and the data you collected, I ask you to find options, remember? Like 5 options, some of you did 7 or 9. So put your data here. Put again your data here, and then find the average, put it here, and then subtract the 2, and it could be here, and put your answers here. Some of the differences will be negative, so we'll change them into a passive value to become absolute value of it, and add it again and divide it again by number of items, and that will be your MEAD. In the material, there will be a sample of this posted. All right. And if you really have more questions, just ask me in a hangout and I'll answer you from there. All right. And that's it. Have a good day. Bye.